Hello children, welcome back, and today you are going to be talking about active voice and sentence types. You should know about these two things, but if you don't, great, I know all about them because I'm an ELA teacher and I know about that stuff. So let's get into it, shall we? What is active voice? Active voice is when the subject performs the action. So I got a little example below. The teacher graded the essay. The teacher graded the essay. How is that active voice? Well, because if you look right here, I am showing you the teacher is the subject. That's the who or what of the sentence. That's what a subject is. And graded the essay is the action. So when sentences use active voice, sentences are clear. We like clarity. Clarity is another word, a fancy word for being clear. If I'm asking for clarity, I'm asking for you to be clear. Clarity means clearness, okay? So, what's passive voice? Passive voice is when the subject receives the action. So instead of it saying the teacher graded the essays, if it was passive voice, it would say the essay was graded by the teacher. Was graded by the teacher. So we see there that the action, the essay was graded, the essays were graded, by the teacher. The teacher is the subject. So the subject is receiving this action. In passive voice, the focus is what happened, okay? We're focusing on what happened, the action. That's why it comes first. We're focusing on the action, not necessarily who did or what did the action, the teacher. So the action comes first in passive voice. The subject comes first in active voice. The key word here is by whoever at the end. By the teacher. If you see by whoever, this was done by somebody, by, that is the indicator. That's the clue that tells you it is passive voice. So, without further ado, let's play a little active or passive, if you will. Let's do that. Active or passive, children? The girl ran a mile. Is that active or passive? I'll count to 3 and then I'll reveal it. 1, 2, 3. Is it active? Is it passive? It's active. All right? So the girl performed the action. She ran the mile. So that is going to be active. Let's look at this one now. The papers were passed out by the sub. Is that active or is it passive? I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Did you get it? I hope you did. That's going to be passive. So remember, if the action is performed by, keyword by, someone or something, it is passive. So make sure you're looking for by near the end, okay? If something is done by somebody or something, it's passive, okay? Let's keep going. The cereal is getting soggy. Is that active or is it passive? I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, did you get it? I hope so. Active, okay? The cereal performed the action, getting soggy. There you go. So, now that we went over active and passive voice even, let's talk about our next big thing, sentence types. All right, so sentence types. Let's first start with simple. A simple sentence is one independent clause. An independent clause is a complete thought. A complete thought. It can stand alone as a sentence. So, I like ice cream. Do you like my little doodle? Thanks. I like ice cream. That is a simple sentence, okay? One complete thought. We also have something called compound sentences. This is when you take 2 independent clauses, so that's 2 complete thoughts, and you join them together with a semicolon. That's what that is. That is a semicolon. Or a coordinating conjunction and comma. You may know the coordinating conjunctions as fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are all your fanboys. and a comma. So I have two examples, one using a comma and a fanboy, if you will, and a semicolon. So I have I like ice cream, comma, and I like cookies. Okay? So I like ice cream is a complete thought. That's an independent clause. I like cookies. That is also an independent clause. It can stand alone as a sentence. I like cookies, period. Period. Okay? And then you bring them together with a comma and a fanboy. We used and right here. So now we have two complete thoughts joined together by a comma and a coordinating conjunction, making it a compound sentence. There's another way to make a compound sentence, and it's by joining two complete thoughts, two independent clauses together using a semicolon, and I have that example as well. I like ice cream, semicolon. I like cookies. Would I say it like that? I probably use the coordinating conjunction and the comma here, but you can do it this way. It's grammatically correct. I like ice cream, semicolon. I like cookies. What can I say? I like ice cream. I like cookies. Period. Okay, so that's a compound sentence. We also have complex sentences. Okay, this one's interesting. This one uses one independent clause, so a complete thought, as we've said, but it also uses one dependent clause. A dependent clause is the opposite of an independent clause. A dependent clause is an incomplete thought, so it cannot stand alone as a sentence. Okay, for example, because I was late. You can't use that as a sentence, can you? Because it's not a complete thought. Why was I late? I don't know. All I said was because I was late, period. That's not a complete thought. That is a fragment, okay? We need more to the sentence, making it dependent. So look here. I have an example of a complex sentence. Although I like ice cream, I don't like milk. Doesn't make sense to me. But perhaps they mean like milk by itself. I don't know. So although I like ice cream, I can't use that alone as a sentence. Although I like ice cream, okay? Although you like ice cream, what? There's more that needs to be in that sentence for it to function, right? So that's a dependent clause. If I just used that alone as a sentence, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't sound right. So that's a dependent clause, not a complete thought. But I have at the end, I don't like milk. So if I just had that as a sentence, I don't like milk, period, that's a complete sentence. I don't like milk. That's a complete thought. So that makes it an independent clause. Put these together. Although I like ice cream, comma, I don't like milk. Although I like ice cream, I don't like milk. That is a complex sentence. Okay? And although is what we call a subordinating conjunction. Okay? Most of the time, complex sentences have these. Not always, but a lot of times they do. Like although, because, since, when. Those are all subordinating conjunctions. All right? When I went outside, comma, it was cold, period. That is a complex sentence. It was cold when I went outside. That is also a complex sentence. I just changed where the clauses are. All right? So, sentence variety is key. When you use simple, compound, and complex sentences in your writing, it keeps your writing keywords interesting and clear. And clean. It also makes it clear. So sentence variety makes strong writing. I'm going to say that again. Strong writing makes sentence variety makes strong writing, okay? They exist together, okay? Use sentence variety, because if you don't use sentence variety, you may end up with something like this. I like ice cream. It tastes good. My favorite ice cream, or my favorite flavor, is strawberry. I don't like vanilla ice cream. I like going to Dairy Queen to get blizzards. I also like ice cream from McDonald's. Okay, I already wrote it down, but there are way too many simple sentences. In fact, this is completely consisting of simple sentences. This writing is so uninteresting. It's very robotic, okay? It's monotonous, as in it is flat all the way around. Okay, we need some carbonation. Make this some soda. Make it pop. Okay, so turn it around. We got something better. I like ice cream because it tastes good. My favorite flavor is strawberry, but I don't like vanilla. While I like going to Dairy Queen to get blizzards, I also like ice cream from McDonald's. Okay, so using different sentence types makes strong writing. It's obvious as you can see, okay? So in your writing, you should always strive to have sentence variety. And again, when I say sentence variety, I mean using all types of sentences. Simple, compound, complex, and if you want to be daring, a little bit of compound complex. Even though we didn't touch that, I really just focused on simple, compound, and complex. So remember, active voice, just recapping this video, active voice is when the subject is performing the action. Mrs. Ryder is teaching a video. Okay, I am performing the action. The subject is performing the action. Okay, there's also passive voice. Passive voice kind of focuses on the what's happening, not who or what is doing something. So for example, the vase was knocked over by the cat. Okay, by the cat indicates that this is passive voice because the subject, the cat, is receiving the action. Okay. And then we have sentence types. We have simple sentences, which is one complete thought. I'm going for a walk, period. That's one complete thought. Compound is two independent clauses joined together by a comma and a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon. I am going for a walk, comma, but now it is raining, period. That's a compound sentence. Okay, and then we have complex sentences. That's when there's a dependent clause, so not a complete thought, meshed with a independent clause, a complete thought. So although it was raining, comma, I still went for a walk. Or because it was raining, comma, I didn't go for a walk. I like shopping since I have great fashion sense. Actually, that didn't make any sense, so do better than me. I don't know. So you get the gist. I don't feel like I have to explain much more. Sentence variety is key to strong writing, and using active voice when you can creates clear writing for your reader. So keep that in mind. These things are things that are important for your writing. Now, I gotta go eat dinner. Have a good day.